Hi there, Michael Lovato, Ironman Live host here with you again at the Triathlete Mag House. Thanks for hanging out with us. This time I've got this guy, Luke McKenzie. Most people know him as last year's runner-up. I know him also as a 6-time Ironman champion, but let's not beat around the bush. The coolest thing is he's a brand new dad, so congratulations on all that stuff, especially being a new dad.
Thanks, Michael, and obviously to you as well. Like, congratulations. Being a father has personally been just the highlight of my year, and I'm guessing yours as well. So I'm absolutely loving fatherhood. You know, it's really been such a journey this year, and it's just exciting to share it here with my family in Kona.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, for sure. And thank you for drawing me in. I try and lure the interview subjects to draw me in, but that's great. No, fatherhood's fun, and I think it does put a little perspective. And so that brings me to this question. So to me, this year has been a little bit different for you. Mm-hmm. Does not having a big win like you did last year at Cannes, where you killed everyone, does it set you up for a different expectation at Kona? Knowing also you were second last year.
Yeah, I've had a frustrating year on the racing side of things. You know, obviously having win come along, I had to really focus my year on a couple of key races, and then, you know, I wanted to be present and around, you know, obviously when Win was born. So, you know, I started the year with Ironman Melbourne and just had some dramas there that, you know, I was able to overcome, and I got my validation, but it was frustrating because I went there with, you know, I really wanted to put another good result on the board, but post Kona. And then, yeah, same at Roth. You know, I felt like I was in really good shape and I was ready to give that one a really good go. And, you know, it's sometimes you just don't have it on the day. And, you know, but coming here to Kona after last year's result, I know that I've got it in me. Yeah. And I think, you know, you've got to put those little mishaps in the past. You know, everyone has bad races, and I know how to prepare really well for this race. You know, I've come here 8 times now, and, you know, I feel really at home here. I love it here, and they're the sort of things that I'm drawing on. You know, I'm not really dwelling on, you know, having a rough season, because, you know, at the end of the day, I know that I'm prepared as best I can for the weekend. So I'm just really excited to get out there.
Excellent, excellent. Yeah, well, we're all excited to watch you race. You gave such a good show last year, and it's neat because I'm sure that gave you confidence, which is what I want to talk about next. You know, you made a point to note that last year, you know, training with Crowie, he kind of said, hey, you've got what it takes to win this. Mm-hmm. How big was that last year, but how different is it to maybe not have that this year since Crowie hasn't been here?
Yeah, I mean, last year I really have to thank guys like Crowie. You know, coming into the race, you know, I felt great about my preparation. It had been really rock solid, but to have a guy like Crowie to look you in the eye after we'd finished a session and say, mate, you can win this, you know, that really gave me that last kick going into the race, where I was like, you know what, yeah, I can. And, you know, I'd won Cairns earlier in the year, and Maka was there, and, you know, he's obviously a guy that's won this race and knows how to win this race as well. And he said the same thing. He said, mate, take that to Kona, do what you did, and you can win it. And so, you know, I guess that's just what I focused on going into the race last year. And, you know, that hasn't gone away. You know, I feel at home here. I love it out here. I love the dynamic of this race. You know, it really is just a war of attrition, and that's what, you know, makes this race so hard too. Is all the best guys are here on that one day, ready to perform, and it's just a matter of who's gonna survive, basically.
Sure. Yeah, survival is important. Staying alive. So you made me think of something now. Is in the past, this is your 8th time?
Yeah.
So 7 races in the past, one really good one, a 10th place before that. Mm-hmm. To me, the field looks at you differently now. Yeah. It's sort of like, hey, before, this guy's great on the swim and bike, but his run hasn't come to fruition in Kona. Mm-hmm. Now it has. Mm-hmm. Do you see them approaching you differently as far as the bike goes, and how do you respond if they do?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting this year. I think, you know, obviously you know, once you've had that podium or you've won the race, you're a marked man basically. And, you know, I think I'm just going to have to race my race. It's not going to, I'm not going to have the ability to just be, you know, waltz off the front of this race anymore. You know, like Chris Lieto was one of those guys over the years that was in a similar situation. You know, obviously Sebastian, Andrew Starkowitz, they're in the same boat. They're guys that, you know, have a really strong bike ride in them. Marino Vandenacker is back here this year, which is super exciting. So, You know, I'm not the only one as well. So it's going to be a matter of sticking to my, you know, my limits. I know that I think the thing about this race is everyone tends to probably race it 5% too hard. And it's a matter of, you know, at that time, knowing what you're capable of, you know, because it is such a long day and ultimately it does come down to the marathon. I mean, there's no use spending all your cookies on the bike if you're just going to go backwards in the run. So, you know, I think I found that really happy medium there last year with how hard to ride and, you know, getting a good run out of myself. So I think it's going to be a matter of just not doing anything drastically different.
Okay, yeah, exactly. No, good formula last year, so certainly playing those cards similarly. Now, you mentioned some of those other powerhouses that have been not afraid to dangle it out there, if you will. And when you're out there doing that, are you really in tune with the 5%, 10%, the watts, or are you just thinking, hey, I can feel this, I know what this is going to cost me, I know the effort? Just, are you real precise, or is there a little bit of racing going on that helps you?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think, you know, in the past, it's a matter of weathering that first couple of hours on the bike here, because you can really burn a lot of matches in that first 60 odd kilometers where, you know, you see the Kona Express, as they call it. There's 20 odd guys all in that group, and you know, it's the dynamic of it. It's tough. You're racing, and so if someone's going for it, you know, it's a matter of assessing at that point, you know, where am I where I need to be right now? And I think, you know, as the race progresses, that last 60 kilometers coming back is where you can really make time or lose time. And I think last year, you know, I was really happy with exactly on my threshold where I knew I needed to be on the bike. But as I started to get time splits and started to see that, you know, big names, guys that I considered the favourites were starting to drop back. I was putting minutes on, you know, guys like Crowe and Sebastian was even dropping back. You know, it gives you that little extra boost of confidence. And I guess at that point, you know, it's like you've got to take this opportunity. Like, you're in this position, just go with it.
Absolutely. No, it's a great answer. So thanks for that. Man, you're listing a few names, so just throw at me 2 names. The guy, say maybe, I know we don't like to admit this, but the scariest guy out there, and then the biggest unknown. They may be the same guy, but 2 names for us.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Jan Frodeno is the guy on everyone's lips. He's had such a amazing year on the 70.3 circuit, and new to Ironman. It's exciting to see a guy like that coming across. But I would say Nils Fromhold is a guy that, you know, not many people have been talking about coming into this race. He's such a low-key guy and still so young. But, you know, I was impressed with the way that he raced in Roth this year. He's also had other great results at Arizona and South Africa. So, you know, there's a few guys like that really could fly under the radar. So, you know, I could go on all day about it. Yeah, so they're my 2 that I would say look out for.
The Germans. Okay, good. No, perfect. Two names. I like it. Not afraid to point them out. So if you don't mind, we'll dive into the rapid fire question segment of the interview.
Oh, you didn't tell me about this.
No, sorry. So I can't have you get prepared. So here we'll do just a quick question, and I'll start out with this one. Do you shave that beard off on race day?
Yeah, I actually haven't even shaved my legs yet, so it's pretty unprofessional of me. So yeah, I would need to do a whole shave down.
Okay. And what about this? Coffee race week or no?
Yeah, totally. I love coffee.
AC race week or no?
I've had it off lately, but I think I might have to start putting it on because I am sweating up a storm. It's so hot.
Compression socks or no?
No compression socks for me.
What about in public ever compression socks?
Personally, I wouldn't, but I mean, each to their own.
Okay, is there any sort of activity, maybe a nightly activity that you abstain from or not abstain from race week?
Yeah, I'm trying to stay home most of race week. You know, I'm really not out at the bars or the clubs or anything. So yeah.
What about the at-home activities?
The at-home activities.
You don't have to answer that if you don't want to.
Yeah, it's winding itself down. I'll tell you that.
Sure. Okay, perfect answer. Okay, underpants run or no underpants run?
Sorry, I won't be there tomorrow, but I'm a big fan of it. I think it's fun.
Okay, and then that's it. You cruised through that round pretty easily. Just I'd like to say thanks to you. I'd like to say good luck, and it was certainly fun having you here. Also, any sort of shout out to the family or anyone you want to mention there before we move on?
Yeah, definitely. You know, my family has been a massive part of coming here to Kona. They've come every year since I first qualified in 2006. So to have them along, you know, definitely with the support of Beth and I back in her racing and me racing here, just having them here is huge. So I really thank my parents and my sister for everything they've done.
Cool. And how about Win?
And Win, of course. Why would I not thank her? Yeah, no, I have to really thank her because she really is a great baby, and you know, for us to be able to travel with her like we do, and she just comes along and she's a happy little fella. So yeah, I'm just totally in love with her.
That's great. I love it. Good stuff, Luke. So thanks again, and folks at home, come back, join us again. We'll be here all day with more interviews. Luke, all the best. We'll see you out there.
Thanks, Michael. Appreciate it.
Okay.
Thanks, mate.
Yeah, good stuff.